Rebel Walk pregame report. I'm Dalen Flowers. What's going on, y'all? Live from Norman, Oklahoma. Ole Miss is in town to face the Oklahoma Sooners. Should be a fun one. Let's break it down. Ole Miss coming off a heartbreaking loss against the Georgia Bulldogs last weekend, and I say heartbreaking in so many fashions. Whether it's going so many offensive drives with a scoring touchdown and then kind of collapsing on the last few. Whether it's you looking at the defense and not able to stopping the run game of Georgia at all, or in the red zone offense for Georgia. There were a lot of heartbreaking moments, and I know that loss is going to stick with Ole Miss fans for a very long time. But you got to move past it. You got to move past the noise. You got to move past the loss, and you got to get past Lane Kiffin noise to the Florida Gators. If you're an Ole Miss fan and you're the Ole Miss players, this is a game that Ole Miss really needs in terms of resume wins and a resume builder. Obviously, the LSU win a few weeks ago matters, but with LSU losing to Vanderbilt last weekend, it looks a little bit slower on top of the resume ranks that it may have did a couple weeks ago. The Tigers have a great chance to beat the Aggies, the number 5, number 4 team in the country this weekend, so that may build up a little bit of Ole Miss can take care of Oklahoma today. But look, Trinidad Chambers continued another great start last weekend. I know the game did not end the way Ole Miss wanted it to, but Trinidad Chambers still looks like a Heisman favorite. Throwing the ball, running the ball, throwing on the run, his pre-snap actions, his pre-snap motions, understanding what the defenses are sending him. He's going to have to do that today. Brent Venables is one of the best defensive minds in the country. Oklahoma has the number 1 total defense in the country for a reason. They're going to send pressure. They're going to mix up schemes. They're going to mix up designs. And, as Lane Kiffin said, they may even steal a few plays as well. But Trinidad Chambers has the keys in his hands. He has Keywan Lacey. He has Logan Diggs. He has an outstanding offensive line. He has the weapons at the arsenal with Daquan Wright at tight end, Caleb Odom, and as well all the wide receivers, Deshaun Stribling, Harrison Wallace, Deuce Alexander, the list goes on, even with Caden Lee. So Ole Miss has the offensive weapons, but this Oklahoma defense is set up for success for a lot of different reasons. Like send pressure at the quarterback and they get home. They create turnovers. Their linebackers do well in zone coverage and putting pressure on the quarterback. So you're going to see, can this Ole Miss defense stop this Ole Miss tempo offense? And they're going to have to if they want any chance today. Now, looking at the Oklahoma offense versus the Ole Miss defense, I think the rain, the weathers you're seeing me in, and what's going on today, Norman, is going to matter heavily. Can John Mateer find enough outlets to be successful against the Ole Miss defense? I think he's going to have to. Ole Miss has a middle of the conference pack run game, and the Ole Miss run defense has not been able to really collapse anything on the run game against any other team. Can they do that today? I think they're going to have to, because John Mateer's ability to use his legs and use his arms in the red zone is going to be effective, just like it was for Gunnar Stockton last week against Georgia. This Ole Miss defense has to fight. They have to avoid getting down to the red zone. That's where the Oklahoma offense is subpar. They are perfect. They are 100% from the red zone this season. They're one of the best red zone offenses in the country for a reason. They systematically plan their game plans once they get into that side of the field, and